Hey guys, over here. I'll go ahead and skip ahead a few to get to it. This is going to be a message out to my older viewers. So, this is not the weekly video I promised you guys. The weekly video I promised you guys is over the new Destiny 2 Forsaken Warlock Supers and ability trees for the subclasses. I will make a video later on covering both the Hunter and then the Titan in two separate videos. I'll explain more about that in tomorrow's video. So, I just wanted to say, don't freak out. Don't spam me in comments asking me why this is a Minecraft video. I just wanted to clarify that. And with that being said, I will see you guys at the end of the video. Now, before we get into the tutorial over how to fly a ship and what planet to settle on, there are two kits you're going to need. Now, if you're not familiar with kits, then all you have to do is /KIT and followed by the kit that you want to get. Now, two kits you're going to need. First of all is kit Spacesuit. Since StarQuest takes place in space, and there is a space dimension for you to fly your ship around in and travel between planets, this is essential. This is going to allow you to float outside your ship and interact with asteroids, among other things, without the risk of suffocating, dying, and going back to spawn or your cryopod. And about cryopods, I will get to that later on. Now, the second kit you're going to need is /kit controller for this part of the tutorial. Now, what this is going to allow you to do is to fly your ship. Once you have these two kits, follow the yellow... I want to say yellow brick road. I'm sorry. But follow the yellow wool, and you'll eventually come across a ship spawner. Now, if this ship wasn't here, and this was a valid ship spawner, this will cost you 7,500 by the way, but if you haven't played StarQuest before and haven't spent that cash, then you should spawn in with it. Just right-click it, and a ship will magically spawn. Now, what you're going to want to do after that is go ahead, head over to your ship, and climb up aboard, and with your kit clock, let me see if I have mine, no I do not, excuse me real quick. With your kit clock, equip your spacesuit too, so just in case something happens to your ship, and right click. Now what this should do is, it's now going to detect your ship, and you should be able to shift fly like this. No problem. Just hold shift to fly, look up, down, left, right, in whatever direction you want to go, and again, hold shift, and you should be able to fly. Now that you sorry. Now that you have your ship, there are three signs you need to be aware of should something happen to your ship sign. First of all is autopilot, but I don't really consider this necessary because all this is used for is slowing down or speeding up your autopilot, and you want to go as fast as possible when you're first starting out, so let's go ahead and delete that. Oops. The next two signs you want are Starfighter. Now, if you do /ship class info, you should know, ship class list, you should know that there is a lot of ships, ranging from offensive ships to cargo ships to pirating ships and defensive ships, but we're not going to worry about that for the rest of the video. All you're here to learn for today is how to fly this class, Starfighter, which should be one of two unlocks, that being your shuttle, drone, and Starfighter. Okay, 3 unlocks. So, just simply type the ship class that you want. So, if I wanted a drone, I type drone, and so on. And again, apply the same process. Left click, and it is going to detect your ship. But since I have no ship to detect, and there are certain blocks you have to make your ship out of, it's not going to detect anything. But, here's something else you need to be aware of. The helm is how you direct your ship. So, if we go ahead and climb back into our little test fighter here, and we left click, you are going to see, depending on what direction, that my ship is going to be able to rotate. This is urgent for combat when your opponent is on the other side of you, and you don't have time to maneuver around to where you can shoot them. Hang on, let me maneuver back. So, that's how the basics of you're going to be flying your ship. Now, there is one last thing to note before you take off to a planet, before we get to planets. It's these cannons right here, and this is why we have the target set up. If you go up to these two areas right here, and you right-click on the spawners, you're going to see 3 modes. Now, there are separate cannon types. There is railgun, which does hull damage, and laser, which does shield damage, but this is a middle ground, meaning it does both equal hull and shield damage. Now, there are 3 modes. Aimable, which has moderate aim, and I'm going to go ahead and show you that. Let me just hop in the ship real quick. Right click. and left click. Now, as you can see, it didn't exactly go where I wanted it to go. It would have all converged on one block. So there is a slight off aim with that, but it does good enough hull damage for it to be effective against larger ships. But, again, this is not the most preferred option. But I'm going to go ahead and run through the 3 options for you guys. That way you guys can be sure which option you want to pick. Aimable turret mode is a different story. Turret mode will shoot at what block you want, and it will land on its target at the cost of less damage to your cannons. And if we go ahead, go for the bullseye, let's see if we can get it. Ooh, that's close, but as you can see, it does 2 block damage this time. So it hit exactly where it was supposed to hit. So let's go ahead and repair that. Now, fixed mode is another story. What fixed mode does is it makes sure you can't aim, so you no longer have the ability to freely aim your cannons. It only is in one direction. But this is the mode I would recommend because it actually does double damage to hull. So as you can see, it fired at the same block across from the cannons, so it only fires in one direction. This is the preferred mode because you have a fast fighter, and if you need to combat someone, you can, in a fighter, since it's such a fast ship, this is the mode you want because you can easily maneuver the ship should it fly up, down, left, or right of you where you can't aim. That extra damage is going to come in handy and may save you a lot. Now, that's all you need to know. These 2 back here are simply thrusters. They make your ship go faster, but don't worry about that. Don't touch them. Only touch the cannons. And you can use the other modes, but I personally recommend cannon mode simply because of the double damage it takes. So there's that. So let's go ahead and repair this target. I know it doesn't matter right now because we already tested what we're going to test, but I'm relatively OCD, so excuse me real quick. I accidentally dropped it. Alright, red wool. Here we go. Okay, so that is how you fly a ship, and those are the signs you need to be aware of on how to fly a ship. Remember, do slide